Well, let me ask you straight up. I mean, the bottom line is Democrats should be wiping the floor with Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a housing crisis, climate emergency here. You were talking about Florida Power and Light or pulling solar panel subsidies. Even Republicans are feeling it in terms of the housing prices. Property insurance is through the roof here. All of that, and he's pushing these distractions. Obviously, they're affecting real people. I mean, it seems like I just have to ask it straight up: is the problem the Democratic Party's swimming in its own corruption too much to offer an alternative? Because I think nationally and in Florida, if the Democratic Party offered a bold, progressive alternative, not mealy-mouthed, neoliberal credits here and there, but pushing rent control, things like that, that would really be able to compete with these culture war distractions.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I serve as a ranking member on Ways and Means, which is our tax committee. So I do a lot of advocacy on ending corporate tax giveaways and asking tough questions when I see a tax break that is specific towards one corporation. And while also pushing for tax breaks for working families. And me, a minority member of the Democratic caucus, was able to secure a 1-year tax break on children's diapers. If Democrats were smart, they would be promoting that across the state, saying, a Democratic member secured a 1-year tax break on children's diapers. Democrats are fighting for you. I haven't seen any communications from FDP about us doing that. Like, I just updated my website last night to make sure it was on my homepage. So I want to make sure that any of my constituents or my new constituents with redistricting see that we are effective even when we're in the minority. And yet that type of message is not coming from the party. And we talk about corporate tax giveaways. That was another legislative win for us. This session, the Florida Senate was trying to pass what would have been another $3 billion corporate tax break. Unnecessary, gluttonous, terrible. Only 1% of Florida businesses even pay a corporate income tax. That is the richest and wealthiest, most profitable companies, many who are international, not our Florida-based businesses. And we stopped that from happening. We asked tough questions. We talked about it on social media. We amplified the everyday person's knowledge of these tax breaks and what that would mean. Because when you give a tax break to corporations, we end up paying for the rest. Mm-hmm. And we won. We won that fight. And again, I'm here talking about it and praising about it. Crickets from the Democratic Party. They should be putting this on a fucking banner, talking about how Florida Democrats saved you money and stopped corporate tax giveaways. And because it impacts their donors, they're not going to say it. And it's self-censorship.
I'm sure those paid consultants at the fundraisers
100%.
Don't want that message.
That's what it is. That's 100% what it is. And so it's like self-defeating, right? Like we're just continuously shooting ourselves in the foot. And it's on an array of issues, affordable housing definitely being another one, alongside the property insurance crisis, alongside pollution and water quality. Like, we should be actively talking about the influence the sugar industry has in Florida. Whenever I talk about it, I get praise from Republicans and Democrats. Same thing with the net metering and anti-rooftop solar fight. I got so much praise from Republicans. Remember, rooftop solar in Florida, so much of the industry, which is one of the fastest growing jobs in the state alongside energy efficiency sector, so much of that workforce, they were construction workers back in 2008. Right. Many are Republicans who went from construction during the housing crisis and the foreclosure crisis. They went into the clean energy economy with the help of federal government incentives. And so this is like a very diverse political business community, and yet you have Republicans completely ignoring them and Democrats voting with them. They're looking for champions. Mm-hmm. And we can be those champions if we weren't so privy to the influence of corporations like Florida Power and Light.
What's your message? Because I could tell you in just online since Bernie's last election, a lot of people who were voting for Bernie twice have fallen out of favor. I mean, they even tell me when I'm interviewing Democrats, oh, yeah, I like what you're saying, but I'm not voting for a Democrat.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. I've said, to me, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like Nina Turner, for example, I think she had a record of fighting, but people, well, she's running as a Democrat, I'm done. What is your message? Because obviously you're not going to beat the Republicans in the culture war if people who voted Democrat in the past are just like, I'm done with this same broken record. Even if an individual like Representative Eskamani is fighting, it's just too corrupt. What's your message to those people? Because to me, the reason DeSantis, other Republicans around the country are winning is because they're viewed as fighting, even though they're for terrible things, and the Democrats are deflating the working class.
It's something that I think about every single day when it comes to having to rebuild trust with the electorate and having to demonstrate, again, that when you vote for Democrats, you will see positive change in your life. We're not delivering that right now. I mean, look at student debt. You know, like, this was a campaign promise from President Biden. He even mentioned it during his State of the Union address. And that is such an important issue that would have widespread transformational change for Americans of every political persuasion. And so I think it's more a message I have for members of my own party who are, identify as Democratic activists, that we need to rebuild trust, and we can't just organize around elections. We have to organize around solving problems. And I've been coaching a lot of local parties on this and saying, listen, even if you don't have Democratic lawmakers in your area, what's stopping you from hosting an eviction diversion workshop? Bring in legal aid, bringing in immigration attorneys to host a workshop on immigration issues, and then use your same GOTV recruitment skills to recruit for that event. But instead of asking them to go out and vote, you're asking them to come seek services and see that we're here for you. That even when you can't vote, we're here for you, right? So I really do think it's important that for any Democratic activist out there who cares about this work to find ways to integrate public service into all your activism and impact people's lives in a positive way. To those who feel disenchanted, know that there are many of us who are fighting to truly build a party that represents the needs of everyday people, that's building that multi-class, multiracial, multi-generational coalition, because that is our path to victory. It's what we've done here in District 47, and I know it's possible at a much larger scale.
And you're running again, so where
where
can people find out?
So because we're districting, our new district is now 42. And you can learn more at honorforflorida.com, and we're on every social media outlet, including TikTok, at honorforflorida with 2 N's. Definitely follow us and keep in touch. And
I appreciate it, because it's not easy to get politicians to talk honestly about corruption in their own party. So I appreciate you kind of saying it like it is.